obviously with moving the Kentucky Derby to September, the road to the Kentucky Derby was altered. And so we looked around the country, and as different tracks said that they were going to open, we identified races that made sense to add to the road to the Kentucky Derby. And the Matt Winn next week is going to be a great one. We actually have gotten so much interest, we actually raised the points on that race because we think it's going to be a stellar opportunity for folks to qualify. And we want the best horses on the first Saturday in September this year, not the first Saturday in May. So those extra races will make sure that they're in good shape and that they're ready for that particular event. We actually have a call twice a week with all the racetracks in the Churchill family, sharing the protocols that we have in Kentucky, in Louisiana, and Turfway, with all the other tracks, so that as they're talking to their local public health officials and government officials, that they have a cohesive plan. And the reality is every location is different, and so there's no real timeline that I can give you. What I can tell you is that they're prepared when the time comes. Just can't say enough about the Churchill Downs team and all the other racetracks that helped us with protocols. We didn't do this on an island. We talked to a lot of people all over the country, including our sister tracks, Fairgrounds and Turfway, that had folks on the backside. So we learned a lot, but you realize when you get into this that every location is different. Every location has unique challenges. So we've adjusted. I would say, just like everything in life, the biggest challenge is communication. There are a lot of people, there's a lot of information, so we've had to add distribution channels and ways we're in contact with people just to make sure they know what the rules are so that they can be safe and that they can have a good time without worrying about things. But obviously, not a lot is going on. There's not a lot of content out there for folks, and I think folks are starved for content, so I think this is a great opportunity for those who love the game to be involved, but maybe to introduce some new fans to this great sport and the beauty of it and the competition of it. And so I think this weekend will be that first step for us to reintroduce ourselves to some people.
The Triple Crown in flux in terms of the order and all of that, what do you tell fans that in case it isn't the normal order?
It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I mean, it's so unique. I mean, if they're in a different order, it'll be talked about for generations if somebody comes through and wins the Triple Crown in a different order than it normally happens. So I think the Preakness is announcing tomorrow, I believe, their new date, and so we're looking forward to it. In this time, we love our traditions. We're all about tradition, but in these times, we just have to enjoy the fact that we're in a unique situation and do the best we can and understand that it's going to be a moment in history. Just like we talk about the 1945 Derby being postponed, we'll talk about this 100 years from now.
Talk a little bit about the purses at this meet. They're down. The overnight purses are down from last year. Is that specifically because of the pandemic, and what do you see going forward?
Yeah, so the question is about the purses. As many of you know, our purses actually last year were record with the opening of Derby City Gaming, and obviously that is a source of purse money that is not open right now. So we're doing our best guess on what we think we will do from a wagering standpoint. We don't know exactly when Derby City Gaming will open back up, but the purses are still very strong. I think if you look around the country what other folks have been offering during this time frame, our purse structure is healthy and one that will be very good. Once everything opens back up, we'll reassess and figure out what the fall meet looks like.
Wagering and with spectatorless racing, obviously it's all funneled through ADW platforms. The model of ADWs, usually in most places, a wager that's placed through that is not as beneficial to a horseman in terms of the percentage that they get as an on-track wager or something of that nature. What is that model like, since obviously the whole industry is relying on it right now, and for purses, what does it mean to inspire the horsemen? You could reflect on that.
I think the model is actually very healthy for horsemen. Thank goodness we have the ADWs so that people can wager and we can generate purse money. I don't necessarily agree with all of your assumptions in your question. I think the models for ADW have been very healthy for us compared to simulcast facilities around the country. And so that migration for this short period of time is actually healthy for the purse money. It's a good thing we have it.